Hi guys, Mick here from Revolution Training.
Hi guys, Logan here from Revolution Training.
And today we're going to be covering Mindful Monday session. For this week, it'll be a bit different where we're going to be mindful of what to be mindful when being mindful.
We're going to explain what mindfulness means. So my favourite definition of mindfulness, I think, is to be curiously aware. Basically what that means in this context is just thinking about the exercise that you're doing while you're doing them, and thinking about your goals, thinking about the purpose of the exercise, just being curiously aware of the actual exercises.
So for an example of this, for me personally, when I'm exercising, I like to be mindful of my form, my breathing, how heavy the weight is, and if I can continue going, and if I've moved at all when I'm doing the exercise. For me, visuals help. Not everyone needs visuals though, so you can just do a quick check in your body, see where you are, etc. But we're going to be aiming at explaining what this is and how to do it.
Sorry, the lens was dirty. Yeah, so you guys will have seen, hopefully, if you haven't, there's a playlist, go and check the playlist, but hopefully you guys have seen some of our Mindfulness Monday stuff. And basically what we've explained throughout that is that when you're exercising, you need to be aware of your posture, you need to be aware of the muscles that you're using, you need to be aware of the weight.
You need to be aware of your core and your breathing.
Yeah, and they're pretty fundamental things that you have to be aware of regardless of what exercise you're doing. I mean, obviously if you're sitting, you may think, oh, I don't need to be aware of my core because I'm sitting, but in a lot of those exercises, keeping it engaged means that your posture's better, so that your whatever muscle you're using is properly isolated. There's tons of examples, but the TLDR of it is that those things are fundamental in just about every exercise you do. And you might be wondering, well, how do I actually do it? And like Mick said just before, he's a visual thinker, so when he's going through his exercises, actually you tell him what you think about.
Sorry. When I'm going through my exercises, for example, say I'm doing a bench press, I sit down in position, lay down, I do a quick check of my feet, my knees, my hips, my back, my head, and then I do a quick check of my arms and where the placement is, lift the weight up, drop down, see where my arms are, see if my shoulders are in the right position, see if I'm going to rotate up or down, then keep going. So after about 4 reps, I like to check again and see if the shoulders are even again, and then from that, keep going. So key elements to take away from that example is, for me, the visual thinker is, where is my shoulders, where is my chest, where are my arms as I'm performing the exercise, and am I exhaling and tensing my core as I'm doing it to improve my form, strength and power.
So I suppose when you're doing it, you actually visualize like where your body is.
Yeah, so I lay down, I think about where my muscles are, how they're activating, and if they're activating the right way. So as I push up, I want to make sure that my arms are activating correctly, my shoulders are stabilized, and my chest is more powerful, and putting more effort into the exercise than my arms are.
Yeah. So I guess for me it's a little different. I like to think, I don't imagine myself doing it. I like to try and think of where it all needs to be, and then I pay like real close attention during the next exercise to make sure.
Okay.
It's almost like I've drawn like a ghost image in my mind, and then I've got to try and get my arms to fill that image, for example, and if they don't, I know where I've gone wrong, something like that. But then when I'm doing standing stuff, I check more frequently because I haven't been doing it for anywhere near as long, to make sure my core is tense and things like that. But it's different for everyone, and that's the thing. Like mindfulness is, although the premise of it is fundamental to just about everybody, the way you do it is completely unique to you.
Yeah.
Some people aren't visual thinkers at all, and they just think like a checklist, and that's fine. Like you don't have to do it. Yeah, you don't have to do it the way we do it. You just do it how you do it, because it's your thoughts that you have to direct to your body parts and body groups and muscles and things like that to make sure you're getting the most out of your exercises. It's all about you.
Yeah.
In saying that, having a personal trainer stand 2 foot in front of you or next to you or beside you or whatever, who's there to tell you when your form lacks, or to give advice on when your form lacks or how to improve your form, kind of can help to take that away, or at least help teach you where you need to be, because you can't always just know like what you have to be mindful of.
Like you can have a mirror there and you can check your form all the time. But if you think your form's good, whereas it could be improved, you're not going to improve because you don't think you need to improve.
Yeah.
So having a personal trainer can be great, but at the same time, it can also make you too aware, if that makes sense. So you keep overanalyzing, you keep trying to improve what doesn't really need to be improved.
I suppose at some point it just becomes muscle memory. Like you still have to check it, but...
So after like 4 weeks to 6 weeks, you start building up a decent muscle memory, you start becoming used to the exercise and where that should be. But after a while, like after like your second set or your heavy weight, your form starts lacking, you start getting tired and fatigued. And that's when you really have to be, as an experienced trainer or an experienced athlete, you have to really start checking your form and making sure everything's good again.
Yeah, I think fatigue is definitely something that racks people. I know when I get tired, I just try and rush through it to get to the end of it. But that's really like the first part of mindfulness that we've been trying to get through the last 12 weeks. The other side of it is to be mindful of your goals. So I know over a few episodes, Mick spoke about the variance in sets and reps and things like that. Yeah. And the reason we've brought that up is because depending on whether you're just trying to gain weight, like muscle mass, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to build your cardio, whether you're trying to
build your endurance, or
they're all completely different variations in the exercise themselves, but as well as variations in the sets and reps. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, like just a quick TLDR on 3 different types of training. For example, if you're a power lifter, you're going to be doing compound movements, you're going to be doing really heavy weight, less reps and more sets. So 3 to 5 reps, 5 to maybe 7 sets with a heavy ass weight. And you want to be doing as compound movement as possible, so a deadlift, a bench press, a squat, shoulder press, things like that. Incorporate more than one muscle. And when you're being mindful of a power lifter's kind of stance and things, you want to make sure that when you're doing the exercise, you have to brace 100% for every single rep, because that weight could potentially crush you or injure you. Funny as it is, it's true, but every single powerlifter that I know really has like a big, broad stance, very thick. They look like they have a big gut. They really don't. It's just a whole lot of core bracing. So the core bracing comes back to always being mindful of your core being switched on. So powerlifters need a powerful core to be switched on constantly. So that's a powerlifter stance. Like a strength trainer stance, which is what I do have to be mindful of everything, not to the extent as a powerlifter. So as sets and reps for me, I do 8 reps, 4 sets, sometimes 5 if it's a compound movement. And I also go for like an average amount of weight, I'd say. So
well, you're pushing your limit.
I push, but I don't go as heavy, whereas I can only do 3 reps. I do about 8 reps if I can. So when I do this stance, I kind of have to be mindful of my form, my breathing, where my muscles are they slipping, and always be mindful of turning on my core when I perform the movement. Now onto an endurance kind of stance and things, where you have to be mindful of doing 15 to 20 reps for 2 to 3 sets. This becomes very fatiguing as you start progressing on into the later parts of the set. So you get to the 10th to the 15th, your muscles are tired, you're done, you're fatigued, but you still have another 5 to 10 reps left. That's when your form really starts slipping, you start drooping, you start not engaging your core.
That's when mindfulness really comes in.
So that's when you really got to slow down your pace and then really be mindful of doing a quick check on your body to where everything is.
Train of thoughts, just
all good.
That's not to say like everybody who does either one of those 3 things has to do that method. I mean, there are millions of different variations of exercises, of sets and reps, of pyramids, of drop sets, of supersets, of like it's endless, yeah. But the point we're trying to get at is when you go to work out, if you're just doing it on your own and you watched a few YouTube videos, either from ours, hopefully from ours, or from anybody else's on how to do the exercises, or if you've got a personal trainer, or whatever the case may be, you might be going to the gym with your friends. That's how I think we started.
Yeah, how we started years ago.
Whatever it is, you need to be aware of what you want to get out of it in the end. And I think just from, well, not even a management, but just from an outside point of view, that's where a lot of, or from a motivational point of view, that's where a lot of people fail, is they don't have a general idea of where they want to go. So they're just, I want to go to the gym and I want to get fit. Well, what does fit mean to you? For Mick and I, fit are completely different things.
Like personally, my fit goal, or my goal as it were, would be to do 3 exercises for X amount of weight. And to reach that, I know I have to push myself to X, Y, and Z. That's my personal goal, my take on it. So for me, I always have to have a goal, something to reach. Otherwise, I'm going to get bored and I'll lose interest and lose my trend.
For me, it's more just an aesthetic thing. Because I mean, I've always been relatively healthy and I'm pretty active sports-wise, but I don't have enough time to lift a lot of weight, so my aesthetic's not where I want it to be. But that's really all it is to me. And so because of that, our training regimes are slightly different.
Yeah.
But that, the motivation stuff's something I think we'll talk about in a later video, because that's kind of my specialty. I did motivational psychology at uni, and it would be an awesome thing to talk about. And it's something we, as a business, try and incorporate into our practices. Like when we do have people on that we're training, or when we're designing plans, or when we're doing meal stuff or nutritional advice or any of that, we try it and incorporate some of the motivational stuff I've learned into that to make sure people are reaching their goals. But we'll talk about that in a later video. Thanks for watching. I don't think there's anything else, or is there? Because I can just edit out the thanks all for watching.
Yeah, that's cool. What would you say?
I don't know, I think we only wanted to cover those 2 things.
Yeah, cover being mindful and what to be mindful of when you're doing something.
Yeah. So in summary, I suppose, and we'll end it on a summary. In summary, being mindful when you're at the gym, or training mindfully, if you will, starts by being just aware and actually thinking, like physically thinking about what you want out of the exercise and how whatever regime you're in suits your end goals. And then the other part of it, probably the more important, well, it's not. The other part of it is being aware of yourself and your body and your position and your posture and the weight and all that while you're doing it. And all that really looks like is at the start of your set, you make sure all your body's in the perfect alignment and it's everything where it's supposed to be. The weight's not too heavy, which you wouldn't really know on the first rep, but take a best guess. And then 3 or 4 sets in, you draw your mind to each part of your body that's important to that posture per that exercise. Check it all, make sure you're doing it all.
Adjust it if need be, and then continue and rinse and repeat until the exercise is done.
And that's pretty much mindfulness. It is a practice. Don't think that mindfulness is easy, because it's not. No. Being able to draw your attention and actually think about certain parts while you're doing other things is difficult.
And you can take like a quick 2-second breather in between your reps just to think about this. Don't feel pressure that you have to do it as you do in the exercise, because if you start moving muscles when you're under a heavy strain, you can cause serious injury.
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure that you're not lifting anything heavy when you're trying to adjust.
No, it is something very important. I think if you do your exercises in like the optimum way, you're going to do a lot better than people who are just going about it willy-nilly to look like they're lifting big weights or whatever it may be. But anyway, that's going to be it for us for Monday. I hope you guys appreciate the new format. This isn't going to be the same next week. No. We're transitioning over 3 weeks to a new style of video format for our channel, and this is just the first week. Next week we're going to talk about more intermediate versions of mindfulness, so it'll be more specific examples of how to incorporate that in difficult exercises or something like that.
Give you more of a visual representation of of a certain exercise, where you should be mindful of, and key isolations on what to do and where to be mindful of.
Kind of like we have been doing, but it'll be a much deeper breakdown. And that whole week's going to be intermediate stuff, and then we're not going to spoil too much. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow. This whole week's going to be aimed at beginners. So if you've got any people out there any friends or family that are looking to start at the gym, this week's worth of videos are going to be an awesome place for them to start. So jump down, do all the good stuff, hit like,
comment, subscribe. Check out all our social medias.
Hit the little bell.
Yep.
And we put videos up 5 days a week, so that little bell will keep you in track with all of them. If you do have anything you want to talk to us about, feel free to shoot us an email. Our email address is in the description. You can leave us a comment if you like. Comments are always great.
We always check the comments, always check our emails, always check any feedback we get. We appreciate it very much.
And it helps keep us doing what we're doing. So at that, bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Just get up and leave. Do it. I look like an old man because I was